Welcome back to another EMC Monday Mastermind. We are super pumped to have Blair Eastman Priester here with us today. We saw Blair speak in Cabo on stage, and she just really left an impact on us. So we asked her if she would come on to one of our Zoom calls and bring that magic to everyone virtually. So before I go on to introduce her, just a little reminder about who we are. So myself, my mom, Eva, my brother Dylan, all on the call here, run a top producing team out of Westchester County, New York, and Connecticut. We also run the amazing organization of Every Move Collective at eXp Realty. We do these bi-monthly masterminds to foster, learning and community. We do them on the second and the fourth Monday of every month. We actually will be skipping the fourth Monday of May because it falls on Memorial Day. So we'll be back with you in June after this. But we are hosting an in-person event on June 3rd in New York. So if anyone is looking for an excuse to come visit, we would love to have you come out. It's going to be awesome. We've got 18 plus speakers, all day event from 9 to 3:30 p.m. We'll share more information at the end of the call. But we encourage you to be as conversational as possible on this call. Use the chat, raise your hand, jump in, ask questions. If you're able to turn.
Did we lose her here? I don't know if
Me?
anyone else can hear her. No, we lost Colby.
I cannot hear.
Oh, well,
Well, what she was saying is that if you guys have any questions or anything throughout, don't be afraid to raise your hand and, get involved. And if you want, you can write things in the chat as well. We'll be monitoring. And yeah, so I'll hand things off to Blair now until we get Colby back and let her start her presentation, and we'll start fielding questions as they come in.
All
thanks,
right,
Dylan.
awesome. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
So, good afternoon, everyone. I am Blair Eastman, quote unquote priester. You'll see that's because the people in the military know me as priester, my maiden name as Eastman. So real estate, I kind of go by Eastman. And today, basically, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. If you don't know, I am in the Army. I am active duty. I've been in for now 15 years. This is going into my 5th year of productions. It's been really great. This is my first complete year at EXP, and I was in Cabo speaking about rev share. I know today we're talking about 10 ways to increase your real estate production. But just to tell you about my slight experience at EXP, if anybody on here is not with EXP just yet, it is absolutely amazing. My year has been great. I've made about $67,000 just in rev share my first year, over $30,000 in stock. I only contributed to my stock maybe my first, right when I capped, and then I cut it off. So I no longer even contribute to my stock. And of course it's a great thing because they do some matching there, but overall it's just been great. My sales was about 17.8 million. That's about 68 properties here. Our price point average is 250,000, so gotta work a little harder in this area. And I came from Keller Williams, who I was with for 3 years. I was their Rookie of the Year, Regional Rookie of the Year. And not this past year, but the year before that, I sold 104 homes while active duty. That equated to about $20 million. I am an individual. I do not have a team. I'm still really thinking about it, but not sure yet whether I'm gonna go that way. But what I have kind of gotten great at is kind of mastering my time, and that's simply because I do not have the time that everybody else they have. Basically the 40-hour work week. I'm actually really working. I teach ROTC cadets, so newly commissioned lieutenants. I'm getting them prepared in college so that they can go in and lead our great Army, which I absolutely love that job. But enough about me. I want to go ahead and get into the 10 different ways to increase your real estate production. At any time, please unmute your mic and just chime in, okay? Just chime in, because you may forget your question, and I want to make sure I answer that or dig a little bit deeper into it, right? So one of the biggest things that I think a lot of people always ask me, like, hey, Blair, how do you get your leads? How do you get your leads? And I always tell them it's organic. So people think that I have like this magic, this secret, or maybe a bank. I don't know where I'm getting my leads from. They actually think I get them from work, and I don't. I do not service anybody in my workplace at all, because to me that's just a conflict of interest, and all money is not good money. So I completely avoid that. However, one of the biggest things that in order to grow and to develop new habits, and I think this is where a lot of people miss the marker at, it is changing your mindset and changing your habits, okay? I can give you a playbook all day. I can tell you what to do. But a lot of times people get off the call and they're not going to go do it, or they really want to in the inside, but it's just something that's holding them back, that's making them procrastinate on, why did I just spend all of my money going to Cabo and sit in class all day and write up the notes and come back and do nothing with it, right? I've done it. I'm sure we've all done it, invested thousands into our education and did nothing. Even though we know what to do, we did nothing with it. And what that comes back to, and what that is our mindset, right? So we got the tools, but we don't have the proper mindset to execute. So what we have to do first is change our mindset, okay? So the first one I'm starting with is called a CEO mindset, okay? We're switching into hustler mode is what I like to call it, okay? Because in here, hustle is how we start. Systems are how we scale, okay? We can't be the teacher, the janitor. We can't do it all, right? We have to scale, all right? So we have to stop being salesperson and start being the CEO of our own real estate company. And even when I get clients, because guess what I hear sometimes from new agents? Oh, I tell my buyers or sellers, I don't want to work with this person if I have to work with all of these other people. It just needs to be me, right? And I tell them that is a way of thinking of a small scale mindset. You have to identify CEO brain set. What am I good at in this business? Well, I can tell you what Blair's good at. I'm good at the strategic planning. I'm good at the numbers, and I'm good at talking. And I will be considered probably the galvanizer, okay? And pulling everybody together. So I don't do showings. I used to, until I didn't have time. I spend my time doing what I'm great at. So anything that you don't like to do in your business, hire somebody to do it. Stop trying to do it because you don't like to do it and you're probably not good at it, okay? My transaction coordinator, she's been doing real estate, a TC, for about 15 years. She's been with me since I started. Sometimes she can advise me on things that I may have missed, okay? So in that aspect, you want to scale. So again, you're not just selling homes, you're running a business. So one of the things, what I call action items that we can do here is block 1 hour weekly for what I call CEO time. That's reviewing your numbers, checking in on your system, having checks and balances, and focusing on your growth and creating a backwards plan. And what that means, if I say I want to sell 100 homes, what I did that year, I created a diagram on Canva of 100 little blank homes. And as I sold one, I shaded it in, and I posted on social media. So out of that whole year, I was shading the entire time. However, I did have a backwards plan. So because I wanted to sell 100 homes, I had to pay attention. I needed to overcompensate a little bit, right? So my goal was 10 homes a month, because my mindset was, if I aim for the moon, I'll land with the stars. So I aimed for 120, even though my public goal was 100, and I landed at 104. So with 10 homes mindset, I had to backwards plan. That means that every week I needed to at least get 2 to 3 people under contract. So I needed appointments. So whatever your goal is, if you have not created a backwards plan for that, you're probably not going to reach it because you don't know how to get there. You have to create a map that if I need to start there and go back and forth, I can, because I have a map. But start at the destination where you want to be and then go backwards. Okay. So in Army, we always call it a backwards plan. And a lot of companies, a lot of CEOs use backward planning in everything that they execute. So I promise if we implement that, it will be amazing in your business. So thing number 2 is weekly non-negotiables. Okay. That's our time blocking. What are our non-negotiables, right? So discipline isn't what you do when you feel like it. It's what you do when you don't feel like it. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. Discipline is not what we do when we feel like it. It's what we do when we don't feel like it. Okay, so when you hit those moments of I don't feel like it, that's time. That's our due time. That's make or break time. That's our money making time. Okay, because guess what? Like I said from the beginning, we're breaking old habits, and if we don't break old habits, we're going to get the same results. And we're not going to figure out why we can't get there because our mindset hasn't changed, right? And our habits and our discipline hasn't changed. It only takes about 21 days. So once you get going, you're good to go. Okay. So, and believe it or not, your success is found in your daily agenda. So every morning you should be checking your agenda. It's not your yearly goals. It's your daily agenda. Kind of how I mentioned before, backwards planning. Okay. So every day I check my calendar in the morning. The day before, I know what I need to do. I know if it's a busy day. I know if I need to pre-iron out some clothes because it's just going to be back to back to back. If your day is not set like that, you're not being productive. If before you go to bed, and this cuts down, I struggle with anxiety too. It cuts down on anxiety. Before I go to bed, if I don't know everything I have to do and I have not prepared for the next day, I'm probably not going to succeed the next day. Okay, I'm gonna be late, I'm gonna run over, whatever the case may be. All right. So again, those non-negotiables. So some actions that you can take. Use your Google Calendar. If you have listings, walk through all of those good things. That's just the organization piece. Use it. Your lead gen, make sure it's on your Google Calendar. Your follow-up meetings, market research, education time that you need to put out, whether it's your social media posts, have those things already prepared the night before. Put them on a timer. We're now woke up and guess what? All of my social media posts are done. I'm productive. I'm hitting it. And if you can imagine like a race, if we all were started at the same line, if I'm always prepared and first thing in the morning, I'm going to take off and I sprint out and you're still trying to get your stuff together in the morning, you're never going to catch me. And I'm just saying, you're never going to catch me. And what I mean by that, ultimately, you're not going to catch me, but you're not going to become the greatest version of yourself because I'm never your competition. We are our competition. We want to be the better version of ourselves than we were yesterday or the year before or however, but we're our own competition. Okay. And our race looks different. So that's why you have to set your goals and create backwards plan. So lock in at least 2 hours a week. This will avoid to do your daily plan. This will avoid the procrastination, that part where we don't feel like it, right? That discipline area. If we're prepared, I forget the little P's, the lack of preparation. Okay, I'm not gonna say it because I can't remember it. But treat your appointments with yourself like you're treating it like you have a showing with a client. Non-negotiable, okay? Number 3, this is what I call power up your follow-up. All right. And most agents stop after 1 to 2 follow-ups, okay? Success happens after about 5 times. So, and these are even nurturing the deals that you have closed out. I will tell you all, sometimes I have some time on board. Guess what? I pull my list of clients that I had maybe a year or 2 ago, and I just text them. I just sit there, get all the names, text them, hey. Anytime I do that, and guess what? When I was trying to sell 100 report, I was doing that a lot. Everybody thought we were really great friends during that time because I was hitting them up a lot. And every time I did that, I would get a lead because they know somebody that knows somebody, even if it was just a referral. So that was the time I'm like, oh, I need a transaction. Let me just start saying hi to everybody. And I would find them. Or I get on social media. Let me tell you something that really worked my very first year. And craziest thing, I started telling people, I would get in their inbox and I would be like, hey, guess what? it is time for you to buy a home. That's what I would say. And they'll be like, you know what? I was thinking about that. You know, it's almost kind of like, no offense, because I am religious, but sometimes how you hear the pastor and someone starts preaching and it starts talking to you and relating with you because it crossed your mind. Everybody wants to own a home one day, whether they say it or not. A lot of people just don't do it because they don't understand and they're scared. And when I can get in your DM and tell you, hey, you should buy a home, and guess what? I have you. I'm going to carry you. I'm going to baby step you through this situation. And all I need you to do is fill out this application, and we're going to get an answer tomorrow. Don't be scared. All they can do is tell us no. They do it. The next day when they get their pre-approval letter, oh my goodness, they are over the top, okay? They are ready to go. And you're going to get them under contract so fast. So sometimes you can just tap into your spirit or tap into people that follow you, what I call your fan club. Go to your messages, people that like you. That's what I would do. That's what I did. Like, oh, all these people like. I'll look at a few. Like, oh, okay, I talked to her in person before, and I'll message. Like, hey, you know it's time for you to buy a house, right? Laugh out loud. And then they start talking, okay? So power up your follow-up. Fortune isn't just in the follow-up. It's in consistency. Okay, I know we hear that consistency. Okay, so be the agent who out follows everybody else. Like, I'm going to out follow you, right? And I'm just going to keep going, and it's going to happen. All right. So a couple takeaways. You want to set up like a 7-day, 14-day, or 30-day follow-up, whether you're using Follow Up Boss, KV Core, whatever that may be, or if you're doing what I call organic text messages or voice messages or video messages. People actually really love videos. Like when you send them videos or they can actually hear your voice, they know it's personal to them. So that's a couple of things that you can do. Also, another thing which everybody know, market update, new programs, share those things. I always tell my clients from the beginning, and this may be a line that you may want to add to your toolkit. This is the first of many houses that you're going to buy. Your first house is not your dream house. This is just the first house to get us to our dream house, because we're going to use the equity, or we're going to use the difference in the rent to get a bigger house and to grow up, you know, a little bit. What I always say grow up. So after 3 years, I say, hey, 3 years, we close this out. 3 years from now, we need to have this conversation again, because we have to find you another house so we can we got to move up and get you a bigger house. And they say, oh, okay. And I tell them all the time, you should be buying more houses than you buy cars. If you're buying more cars than you buy houses, you're wrong. Because those houses will pay for your cars. So when you have what I call, that's a hook line. When you have hook lines for your clients, it's going to stick with them. Like, oh, Blair said I should be buying more houses than I buy cars. And that after 3 years, the difference in this this home, you know, could potentially, I rent this out, get a new home, depending on what's going on. And then I can leverage the rent to make a monthly payment on a car. I use somebody else's money, right? So we're taking that investor mindset and we're applying that to our business. So of course, we want to make sure that we're treating our business like we're an investor in our own business. All right. So I'm going to go to point number 4. Before I get into that, does anybody have any questions about those 3? Does anything I said, does it resonate with anybody? I would love to hear from someone.
I'll give someone else a chance first, but I did want to comment if no one else wants to jump in. No? So I think it's actually really interesting that you are bringing the investment mindset to first-time home buyers, because so often people kind of treat investor clients and first-time home buyers, or, you know, families just buying a home, they kind of treat it differently and they think about it differently, and they don't have those conversations with them. And I would actually be curious, from a show of hands or in the chat, like, how often have you had a first-time home buyer become a repeat client or an investor client? Everyone here on the call. Or maybe you're not having those conversations.
No
So
repeat.
you have, Kevin, I saw your hand go up.
So has her hand raised, I see. Oh, did we just lose her
Everyone's so
though?
quiet
My
today.
wife is a loan officer, and that kind of helps as well, especially if you're working with first-time buyers. When I used to be in production, and yeah, there's no question about it. You know, first-time buyers keep their properties, or you would advise them to keep them. Kind of goes somewhat against your own self-interest to sell it, but long-term, that definitely pays off.
Absolutely.
I see we have Joe with his hand up as well. If you want to take yourself off mute.
Yeah, I'm an investor myself, and so I always have that conversation, especially with my first-time home buyers. I have a guy that lives in New York, and because I'm not licensed in New York, I'm licensed in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. He bought a place in Pennsylvania, and he had rented in that place where we are on track to get him this second home. His brother is trying to also buy a home, so I'm having that brother also. So it's very important, and when Blair said it, I was like, she got it. She got. I mean, it's no wonder why you said 100 homes a year, and I really appreciate the encouragement.
Thanks for chiming in, guys.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and get back started. So kind of how I kind of already mentioned, number 4, and sometimes I get ahead of myself because this stuff is just all in my brain. Run your business like an investor. And thank you for saying that too. So you just don't sell real estate. We're building wealth, right? We're building wealth. We're teaching our clients how to win in real estate. And guess what? When they do that, just like Joseph and how they're bringing in his brother, they're going to trust you for life. They're going to trust you for life. They're going to trust you with everybody. And I tell people all the time, it is one thing when I talk about myself or you talk about yourself. It is another thing when someone else talks about you. You get a really good client. You get a client that listen, respect you. They don't undermine or second guess you. They take your advice, and those are some of the smoothest, easiest transactions that you will have. Okay? So, couple action items right here. You want to kind of learn to create like what I call like a hack list. And what that is, let's just say you want to get familiar with different programs when I want to follow up. Let's just say DSCR loans, right? And let's say I have a home buyer that said, hey, I wanted to invest. Sometimes I have clients that want classes, right? So one thing that I did, what I thought was cool, I got a lot of business from this. I hosted an investor class for my buyers. Investment class. And that's because they were in their primary home, especially my ones that are my sellers, that I see them, I know that they have money because I just saw their $100,000 check. At that time, it's time for me to have a conversation about a DSCR loan. On, hey, you probably should not waste this money. If you're making $100,000, tell me what you can stick it in right now that's going to give you a return of X number of dollars. Because we can go buy a new house out of that 100,000. Let's go buy another house. And while we're purchasing another house for 200,000, you only have to put down 40,000. You can go stick the other 60 in crypto or whatever you want to do. But take this 40 to get you another property. And then I'll run numbers for them. I'll do the investment side for them. And so now I'm investing them. I'm looking for a return on my investment from my business by investing into my client, educating my client. And now they say, oh, I always wanted to do that. I just didn't know what to do. I said, oh, don't worry. I'll do the numbers for you. So I find the property. I pull the lender in. We do the application. I'm like, hey, matter of fact, let's look at some that are already occupied. Somebody's trying to empty out their portfolio. We're just going to change it. Oh my goodness, we can do that, right? And I've gotten clients that way. So that gave me a reason to reach out. Or what I call like, so my area is popular for VA. I'll send out some VA house hacks, some things that they can use. Send them a text, organic. And then they're like, they want to know more. That leads to additional deal. Seller financing. Those options. So we need to become extremely well versed in our industry so that we can educate. And now they feel like, hey, this girl knows everything. And that's what they tell the other people. Like, she knows everything. Just call. And my favorite line too, never Google, call me. And I think, don't ask your mom or your dad that bought a house 5 years ago, or somebody that bought a house in 2008. It's not 2008. It's not 2020 where the rates are great. I am your subject matter expert to tell you what's going on in this market, in this area. I am relevant. I have just sold, let's say, 10 houses last month, so I know what's going on. And again, someone mentioned that earlier about the news. When people put, I think it was your mom, people put things out from the rally that she went to. The news company will put out, oh, we have foreclosures, we have this. And you can look at your market like, we don't have that. What's going on? So, and guess what? When the media can trend our market. So the media starts making this message, people start believing and following. If we as agents aren't there to counter what they're saying, to educate them and show them why the media is wrong, that, hey, that may be for the US, but it's not for Fayetteville, North Carolina. And here's why. My area is recession proof. Look at homes are still standing on the market for a week. What makes you think we're going through foreclosures right now? You can't find none of those. I don't even have one on the market. So it's our jobs to make sure that we are educating our clients and also investing and share ideas, right? Have conversations, treat them like business partners because they are your business partners. So those are a couple of things. So basically, leverage wealth building strategies to increase your production, and it increases your trust. Say that again. Leverage wealth building strategies to increase your production and increase your trust. All right, it's gonna rein in the money. Number 4, I'm telling you, it's gonna rein in more money. And just a quick back brief. Number 3 was power follow up, reining in money, power follow up, and our non-negotiables. That's our discipline, so that we can execute these things that we learn and put it in play, because if we don't put it in play, there's no money to it. All right. And of course, number 1, when we started CEO mindset, hustler mode, right? We're not just salespeople. So now I'm gonna go back to number 5.
Before you dive in there, we did have one hand raised. Latoya,
Okay.
did you have a question? No. Okay. We can go
I'm
to
sorry,
that.
I
Oh
couldn't
no,
see
there,
that.
she's back.
Oh.
Latoya, did you want to take yourself off mute?
I did. I finally got it to work. Sorry about that.
All good.
Hey everybody. Hi Blair.
Hey girl. That's my friend, my sorority sister.
Oh, awesome.
So something, I'm really glad that you said it. Become well versed in our industry. Now, I know that we're always talking about, or we're always hearing about our niche market, like what we're, more comfortable with, what we like to do, the people we like to work with, things like that. I noticed lately that since I'm coming back into, the industry a little bit more, I'm getting a lot of like questions and referrals about investment properties. And I'm gonna be honest, that's just not my thing. Like my husband is my business partner. He loves that side of the business. He loves commercial and he loves distressed properties. I like the other side. But because I'm the one, he has a primary career. He's like you, Blair. He's dual agent doing the whole thing. But I need to be able to help him. So I'm like, I'm getting the calls and whatever. And I'm like, okay, how can I help him while he's at work? I need to be, boots on the ground, but I'm just not interested in those properties, Blair. I'm being very honest here with you guys. Just wanted to see like, what's your, do you have like, I know you do you have a little advice on that where I can maybe start to read about it a little more so I can maybe become interested?
Absolutely. So let me tell you what the hack for people, what you're referring to right now, what I'm doing. So when I get those calls, guess what I'm looking for? Loan assumptions.
Okay.
Loan assumption. We're trying to pick up all of those 2-point some interest rates that we will never see again, that we seen. And last time I think I wasn't born, it was 1950s, right? Picking those up. Because guess what? Investors have cash. They can pay for the gap between the equity. They can pay that. But what they can't do, because what we all should have been doing at the time when the rates were in the twos, we should have been buying as many properties as we possibly could. If we knew better, right? If, you know, I was too busy selling houses. I did buy one, but I should have been buying more, leveraging that too. So now what I do, I go in the MLS, and I just made this Excel spreadsheet for one client, but I'm realizing I'm using it for others, and I keep updating it. So I created a Google Excel spreadsheet where when I share that, the link is whoever email address I add to it. So only my clients can see it. So I go in, I get in the MLS, you know how in remarks, how you can like if you put 3 bedrooms and hit search, right? Well, in remarks, I put loan and I do a search, and I put assumption and I do a search. And then now they show me all of the properties. And I take all the properties, I put all the addresses in the spreadsheet. I go ahead and I call all the agents, and I figure out who the loans with, how much they owe, put the asking price, put the interest rate on there, boom, and I share it. And I also share it with my clients that are coming in, that's selling, coming from a different duty station, because a lot of military here. Because guess what? They just sold their houses. They have $100,000 available. And so a lot of investors, if they can get a home with this really low interest rate, they can turn around and rent it out. Because I will tell you personally, my home that I purchased, not only during 2021 did I pay $180,000, and it's now worth $380,000, and my payment is only $1,100. Someone would love to have that, and I rent this house out for $2,400. Right? That is a great investment. And so I tell them, if you can tell me somewhere, for instance, like that property, that's $1,300 a month. Tell me where you can put $100,000 right now that's going to produce you $1,300. A lot of times 10% stock market, yeah, but you gotta know what you're doing. You can do that, but tell me where else. Because guess what? When you put it into this property, that equity, it's not lost. It's not going anywhere. It's just a savings account that's now, this comes a cash flow investment for you. So that has been one of my strategies in this current market, is to leverage as many loan assumptions. If they find a property that they're not sure about, I'll still call and have the agent ask about the loan assumption. A lot of real estate agents know nothing about loan assumptions, which is not great. But when you call and they don't, you can educate them on it, and, you know, kind of explain the situation to them. And a lot of times they're still going to go through it, because houses realistically are sitting on the market right now longer than they normally are. And if it takes loan assumptions taking about 60 days, if it takes the extra money, we're under contract, they're still okay with it.
Okay.
And so that also goes to, so that's one thing. And then the other thing is, if you have wholesalers in your pocket, I do have a lot of wholesalers. And guess what? I have been able to do, I can't wholesale, you know, different states are different, but North Carolina, I can't wholesale. But I tell that wholesaler person, they send me this property. Guess what? This property is not, you know, I'm not trying to be funny. I know we all get wholesale messages and they want market value. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Where are you getting these numbers from? Right? So when I look at the property and I say, hey, you're the wholesaler, you already have a contract with them. Let me go out and talk to them, and let me represent them so that I can get market value, and whatever contract you all have of this finder's fee, or $5,000 or $10,000, they can pay you at closing. And that's separate from me. So I don't get into that. At that point, I just insert myself to get market value, because they're struggling with that client. They're struggling with the person they're trying to sell the home, because most people want market value. So wholesalers are struggling. So I take the struggle, and what I do, just like you have your husband, I deliver a white concierge service. I go to that house, I look at it, I come back with my contractor. My contractor tell me, hey, it's $5,000 to get all the walls painted or get this done. And I say, hey, I know you don't have the money. My contractor will do the work, and we will get that paid at closing. And now I just earn myself a quick 3%. They take care of that wholesaler on their own on the backside, and whatever their agreement is, and I get paid. The wholesaler, they got paid, but we created some separation between us there, and boom. So if you have wholesalers, I never hang up in their faces. I just figure out how we can work together, because guess what? Wholesalers run it against too. They're always running against, their numbers are off, and they're running against a lot of people that are really ready to sell, but not at that low price that they call with. And that's where I come in at. And I say, hey, you save me, and the things that you cannot sell, you call me and I'm gonna get it sold for you. And I get deals that way too. So don't hang up in the wholesaler's face, partner with them.
Okay. That's good.
But yeah, most definitely tap into the loan assumptions, wholesaler friends. And then sometimes, even if you can't make anything off the deal and you just have to pass them off to a wholesaler, they're still going to come back to you because you connected them with the right person to get the job done, even though you couldn't make a profit off of that. Did that help, Toy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, awesome. And matter of
And we
fact, just a
do.
quick back break, Toy. Tatum, the person that I sent to you, she's a wholesaler and she can tell you her and I have done several deals together. Just me helping her. By default, she helps me and things fall in my lap. So I've already actually connected you with her. So she's somebody that you want to keep in your pocket.
Perfect. Thank you.
Looks like we have another question from John Kopolos.
Hey, John.
What's cooking, Blair? You're doing a fantastic job, girl. Keep it up.
Oh, thanks.
Hey, listen. So I'm not an agent, but I understand their pain points. And I love the fact that you're trying to tell them to go into different avenues like tax, becoming a bit of a tax expert, right? It sounds like you want to try to help your past and future clients with investment moves. That's a little bit daunting for many agents, I would imagine. How did you start? How did you realize that, you know what, I'm going to try to take that step and learn a little bit more about things so that I can help my clients in more aspects of their life circle and see what I can do for them?
So part of it, I'll be honest, I've been investing since 2008. So I've learned from experience. However, what I do, and I did not make this even part of the 10, but it's super important. In the morning, I choose on my ride to work a different podcast to listen to every day, a different subject. And I'm listening to wealth builders, I'm listening to strategists, I'm listening to people that do taxes, and I learn a lot. And then after I learn, maybe throughout the day, I'll look on lunchtime and do some research. But being able to learn from everybody and pull that into my business has been another good thing. And believe it or not, just time blocking to listen to podcasts versus my music every day. I'm learning. I was just listening to one the other day on it's a restaurant called Slutty Vegan in Atlanta, and it was how she scaled fast, and just some of those practices and things. And then it went into real estate and how, the brick and mortars became and the investment. And it's just so many lessons in that, even though sometimes it's not relative directly to real estate, but I leverage and I listen to those guys and gals that are giving out what I call free game through podcasts. I take advantage of that. And a lot of it, I'll be honest, is just through experience or just trying to figure it out. Because you all know, we as realtors, if you don't know, we are problem solvers. And I started calling around trying to figure out the problem, call other investors. I call other agents that's been in the game longer than me. Hey, give me a strategy. And you'll be surprised who knows what. And that's kind of how I bridge that gap. And John, and if I get to a point where I just don't know, guess what? I got Chat GPT, and I'll start fact checking Chat GPT at this point. And if I need a rebuttal, I'll have a rebuttal and I'll have Chat GPT put it in my voice too.
You probably have some experts in your tool belt also to call up to bring in when you might have a client that's got a lot of cash or is looking for something that you might not be able to help. You want to give your clients white glove service. And so you must have some resources, right? You've got some good people by your side that you can call.
I do. John, what do you do?
So I appraise real estate.
Got it.
And I have a Facebook group called Ask the Appraiser, where I've got 80,000 real estate agents on there that come to me and reach out about different questions and concerns they have about the process. But what I'm in the middle of doing is I'm also bringing in the best loan reps in the country, the best underwriters in the country, everything to share with the agent and to make the agent better at what they do.
Yes, amazing. I will most definitely. I just wrote that down. I'm going to follow you because being able to tap into like platforms like you have are super, super helpful. Like,
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree, and I'd love to have you. I'm going to be looking for your email so I can get in touch with you after this call anyway. But I just found it really interesting that you're trying to get the agents into different niches. It's not just about selling properties, right? It's about having an understanding of what's important in their lives. And that's a great way to do it. Everybody wants to invest in, and if you can start to talk small talk with them about that, it's opened up another door for you. And I love the fact that you're listening to podcasts, because I do something very similar. And once you're listening, you can realize how it's going to help you with your clientele.
Yes.
Good
I
stuff.
will tell you a lot of ideas. I have a lot of aha moments. Listening. Sometimes I have so many aha moments. I have notes in my phone. I'm like, oh, I need to get back to those so that I can grow my business, right? And again, that's kind of like how I said, if we start that race off and we're prepared, you're always going to run faster. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, awesome. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you.
And you said something else that registered to me. Wait a second. I'm sorry. I just went, brain. Okay. It'll probably come back. But you said something that I wanted to share. I can't.
Colby,
Darn.
if you can put the email address in our, if Blair's not uncomfortable with putting her email address out there, that would be great if you could put it in the chat.
Nope. Don't mind at all.
Okay.
Will do.
But speaking of that, right? Because number 5 is, which I didn't even say but we walked right into that, which is host one real local event, whether once a quarter, kind of how I told you I did the investor class for my buyers. These are people that already purchased homes from me, right? I'm just trying to tap in again. So hosting those first time home buyer seminars are great. Having lenders, you can do those too. But again, nurturing, building that trust, kind of how I mentioned in the last one, and educating. Your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. Give them something to talk about. Hey, she hosts investor classes for us. Not only did I buy my house, but she's going to teach me how to be an investor. And I just went to her class, and I become what I like to tell them, I'm your lifetime realtor. I don't care where you go. I'm your lifetime agent. And when you get somewhere, you still call me. And here's why. I'm going to find the best agent for you in that area that I'm going to vouch for, that's going to take good care of you just like I did, so you don't ever have to have a bad story like you hear these real estate nightmares. And they said, okay, great. And I vet the person that I'm giving the referral to. So I do give out a lot of referrals as well, right? Because I'm their lifetime agent in my mind anyway. So face-to-face creates connections that social media can't. All right. So the text and the call is cool, but that face-to-face connection is something different. Even when we're doing cross sales and dealing with other agents. You also want to attend local events with other agents. They tend, and I'm not saying they're going to be biased, but sometimes they magically will accept your offer. Sometimes, I'm just saying. So you want to, and it just becomes easier. The negotiating process is easier when I've met that agent in person, right? And I'm like, oh, or they'll tell, hey, this is a great agent. We're going, oh, yes, I know her. She has this property listed. Let me call her. And it builds confidence in the person that's buying the home already. Like, oh, yeah, she operates with integrity. And so it makes it easier. Anyway, a couple actions you can think, what I call action steps. Rotate between first-time home buyers, or whatever your niche is. For mine, veteran workshops, market master classes, buyers to investors, and client appreciation. Client appreciations go a long way. Sometimes if someone sends me a referral, and guess what? We can't do like referral, but we can buy them branded gifts. I might send them a Yeti with my logo on it. Tell them, hey, thank you for keeping me in mind. So those are things that, kind of action pieces. And then you can also, what you should be doing is recording the content, repurposing it, putting it out on social media. One of the new things that I have not tapped into that I intend on tapping into, TikTok. TikTok has these schools, and they have like, I'm not gonna call them albums, but they have subscriptions. They have classes that you can record where someone can sit there and repurpose and just go through and watch all of your content. And then if your content is great, of course, they want to get a subscription. That is the direction that I'm going, because I see a lot of money. And I don't know if any of you, I have broke up with Amazon and cheating with TikTok, okay? Amazon used to be at my door every day. Now I'm TikTok shopping every day, okay? I'm just saying that's what's going on. Amazon is, Amazon is nice, but TikTok is my new boyfriend. So I'm spending a lot of time on there. A lot of people are spending a lot of time on there. Why? Because they're getting wholesale prices. They're cutting out the middle person, where Amazon has that middle person. So I need to be part of that platform. I need to be live, because that's where they're spending money at. It becomes this multi-platform that I think a lot of people are sleeping on. And I've heard about it, and I was sleeping on it. And now I'm most definitely tapping into a lot. So start using TikTok if you're not on there. And guess what I like about TikTok? I can get on there and just be Blair. I don't have to have a full production and videos behind me. I can sit in my car and make content. They want to see who you are authentically. Instagram is kind of polished, a little what I call bougie. I have to go through a lot to make a really nice video. But on TikTok, I can just be me. Turn it on and tap into it, because that's the quickest, easiest platform of growth to me that's out there today. So kind of how a lot of people miss the boat on Instagram, getting in early, don't miss the boat on TikTok. All right. So 6 is record videos every week, which I'm kind of talking about that right now, and then post them. This is something I struggle with, but when I first started, I was recording videos. I was posting a lot, and that is what created the foundation of my business. Now I'm maintaining and growing what I have. So if you're just trying to pick it up off the ground, go ahead and start creating videos. And like I said, I will use TikTok, because you can download that video, upload it to Instagram, upload it to Facebook. And guess what? TikTok even has this thing called CapCut. And it does it for you. Like, it just makes it beautiful. It adds music. It just does all these crazy things, and it's easy. So tap into that. Create visibility. Visibility equals credibility. Okay? That's the conversion there. Visibility equals credibility. Because a lot of times, guess what? You all know what I call it. We got Instagram agents, okay? Their Instagram looks amazing. Like they're selling 100 homes, and you can get on there, they're selling 5, 5 for the year. But to everybody else, and to the people that you're trying to attract, which are our buyers and sellers, because we don't care what other agents think, right? So what? I look like I sell 100, but I only sell 5, right? Right? Who cares? You're trying to attract buyers and sellers. And so your visibility will create credibility with them. Okay. When I first started, let me tell y'all what I did. It's pretty lame, but I did it and it worked. I did not post anybody else's, my little light went off. I didn't post anybody else's listings. So when I got my first home under contract, it was like under contract on a little Canva post, right? Then I'll take a picture from another angle of the house. Pending contract. Same thing, same house. Closed. And then I'll do a sold. I was just trying to create something relevant so I could have something to post. Okay? I did that. And so people started thinking, oh my gosh, she's selling all these houses in the beginning. Like, I was selling what I was selling, but eventually that credibility, I started selling a lot and a lot and a lot, right? So I created that, I'm a little light. I created that just by, sorry, trying to fix my light back. I created that just by creating some traffic, and I was just reutilizing what I actually had. And then I met some really cool agents like, hey girl, you can post my stuff. And then I was like, oh, okay, I don't have to post from different angles. I can go in and put new listings, even though they're not my listings. But it looks like I'm doing a lot of things. So if you're not doing that, especially with EXP, guess what? We can post each other listings without permission. Have at it. So a couple actions.
Blair,
Yes.
I just want to jump in if you don't mind.
Sure.
Because as you're talking about what you were doing on Instagram, it took me back. I've been in the industry a little bit, and it reminds me of when I was doing open houses. And I would put signs everywhere, and I would do everybody's open house as much as I possibly could. And little by little, people in town were saying to me, wow, you're everywhere. Meanwhile, I only had one listing or two listings. So creating that can be done in a lot of different ways, digitally and, more organically in the towns that you're working in. Just find ways to get your signs out there, and people think you're everywhere.
Yep. Yeah. That's amazing. Visibility beats the ability, like in real estate. That visibility is it's a showstopper. And I'll tell you, Eva, another thing that I did, and it was probably a little vain, but I just thought it was cool because I was watching people on Instagram. But after my first transaction, I took my money and I bought a billboard in the city.
Oh, I love that. I
And
remember you telling that story in
yeah,
Cabo.
everybody's
Yes.
like, who's this girl? And I just had sold one property, but guess what? Now a lot of agents knew me, and then when I met cousins, oh, I saw you on the billboard on this area. So now all of a sudden they think, oh, you're just this pro, because guess what I wrote on the billboard? Real estate expert. So I was an expert, who's gonna check, to me, I could defend it, but I've been an investor since 08, but I'm a real estate expert. So I was like, yeah, you're the expert, and
you were
that
an
becomes your
expert
brand.
on that deal.
Yeah, that becomes your brand. So don't
Yeah,
shy
I love that.
away from tooting your own horn. Don't shy away from being visible, right? And I tell people all the time, when people say like, oh, I don't want to go to law school because it's hard, relative to who you're asking. So I tell my friends, don't be discouraged about going to law school. Don't be discouraged about being a doctor. Yes, granted, I wasn't what I call the best book girl in school because I enjoyed probably having fun a lot more. And as a child, I wanted to be a lawyer. But as I got older and realized, oh, I have to sit down and do this, I don't really want to do it. So guess what? I love the lawyers. But the fact that I can get dressed, I can negotiate, I'm moving, I love houses, I love decor, I love numbers, I love finances. This is like the perfect job for me. But it may not be a perfect job. And I'll use a perfect example. My best friend that I grew up with, this girl made all A's all through our entire life. We went from kindergarten to 12th together. All A's. I was always A, B, C student. I could never make all A's like her. I attempted, this was recent. I just tried to, because I pay my transaction coordinator, or what I call my administrative assistant. I pay my administrative assistant $700 per transaction. And I'm gonna at least do 5. So I told her, hey, you wanna make more money? You want a side hustle? I will give you this business that you will at least make $3,500 a month with me by doing the administrative side of this, coordinating appointments, things of that nature. Y'all, I would tell y'all, it was overwhelming her. And as you all know, nobody trains us on how to do the admin portion to our job. You don't learn that in real estate school. You just get out, you get the deal, and you figure it out. So she keeps thinking that I have some formal training. I'm like, no, there's no formal training. Even though I wrote an SOP and it has step by step, but it was giving her the hardest time. And after a while, we figured out this really was not for her, right? But I'm sure she probably could have went to medical school and ran circles around me. I know she can, actually, because I'm not going to remember all those different terms. I'm just not. That's just not my thing. So again, you're in this field for a reason. And don't take on that mindset that other agents, when people start saying, oh, the market is bad. I used to tell people like, I don't want to hear that. Don't say that around me because it's not bad for me. So and it's not going to start. I would ignore it, and I didn't acknowledge it. The people that acknowledged the market was bad, it was bad for them. It was never bad for me. That's the year I did 104. Everybody's like, how you do? I don't know, but it was never bad for me. I just never claimed that. So what we accept to the power of the tongue, don't sleep on that, right? And I tell somebody else, I had this one girl tell me, really good friend, we started the industry together. She's like, Blair, I had to unfollow you. I was like, why? And she's like, because your success was distracting to me, right? And so I was like, okay, I didn't quite understand. And so what I explained to her is, don't be discouraged. Don't be distracted. Pick up the phone and call me and ask me how I'm doing it.
Yeah.
That's
an interesting thing, Blair, because some agents don't understand that abundance mentality where, agents are willing to share, like you just said. This not a shameless plug here for our June 3rd event. The title is Get in the Right Room. And the conversation has been around everybody in the room has something to contribute. If you've been in the industry 20 years and you're a top producing agent, you can share and help people learn. If you're brand new, you can bring a freshness to maybe somebody who's been in the industry like 10 years. You know, everybody together with a success mindset can be more successful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Collaboration over competition. I'm telling you all.
Absolutely.
That
I couldn't
your
agree more.
network is your net worth. Okay, which actually brings me to number 7, because I'm looking at the time and I know I'm short on time here and I've been running my mouth. So number 7 is build a referral army, not just a database. Okay, your network is your net worth. Okay, don't just collect names, build relationships. Okay, referrals are earned, not given. Say that again. Your referrals, they're earned, not given. Show up, serve. Stay at the top of their mind. People can only remember 3 ages. You ask them 3 different types of cereal, 3 luxury cars, 3 this. You ask them for 5, they can give you 3. You need to make sure you're that agent where they can name you as top 3. And when you get a referral, be good to them. Follow back up with them. Let them know what's going on. Make sure they get paid. Follow up. Hey, girl, did you get your check? Hey, let's do that again. That was fun. Matter of fact, another thing a lot of people are sleeping on that's been carrying my business this year, Google reviews. My referral agent, guess what? I need a Google review. Hey, Eva, I just took care of your client. Your client is super happy. Call and ask her how the experience was. She's going to tell you it was great and it was amazing. Do you mind going to leave me a Google review on that? Because guess what? Other agents that are looking to refer me, they're reading my Google reviews and they can see other agents vouching for me. They're going to pick me, and they do. Okay, so you all, I'm telling you, that's a gold mine right there. Okay, a lot of money there. Number
Absolutely.
8.
We did a lot of that this year as well. Sorry to keep going, but we did a lot of that this year as well.
Yes, that works. Work smarter with leveraging. That's number 8. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, leverage. You're light when you're alone. Okay, but if you want to go really far, you're going to have to leverage. If you want to be, and I love her, she's one of my mentors, you want to be a Tina Call, you got to leverage, right? She's running this big team, and I'm in North Carolina. She's the number 1 team here, but she's leveraged. I talked to her, and I was asking her about expenses. I'm not even going to say the number. I was like, whoa, that's a lot of money. She's highly leveraged. So think about that, okay? So use TC, kind of how I mentioned that before. Hire you a VA. Sometimes they have like $5 an hour help. They go in, they'll enter to your CRM, they'll manage your database. Use those people. That $5 for an hour, y'all, we can eat that up in our lunch, okay? Number 9 is master your local market and its narrative. Mine is military, okay? Knowledge is currency. Spend your time wisely. Don't just report your market. Shape the narrative. How I was speaking before. Yes, Eva mentioned it. Yes, the news is saying this. But here, let me show you the facts on why this narrative is this in my area. And then when you prove the news wrong, again, that credibility, okay? Shape the narrative. And then 10 is build for legacy, just not volume. That is the returning. I have not done any lead genning this year. I'm getting returning clients. I barely even post this year. That's because I had PCS and I'm moving and I'm doing all this other stuff. I've just been staying steady. So set long-term goals. Figure out ways what our goal is, what happiness means to us, and that's retiring our mom. Look at the big picture, our 5 and 10-year goals. Break that 10-year down to 5. Break that 5 down to 1 year. Take that 1 year, break it down to 12 months. Take those 12 months and break them down by weeks. Well, the quarters and then the weeks. Create that backwards plan. And I assure you, you will get where it is that you're trying to go because you're going to create the roadmap in order to get you there. Okay. Sustainable success beats burnout every time. Say that again. Sustainable success beats burnout every time. Okay. And I will close out on that. And that's all I have. Thank you all for your time. If you all have any questions, I'm here. Just know also, too, you can find me on social media I am Blair Priester on Instagram. If you all will follow me, matter of fact, I'll go follow you all back. BLAIR, and my last name is on there. It's PRIESTER. And when I disconnect this call, I'll make sure I go follow everybody in here back. And if you all have any questions, just hop in my DM. I'm an open book. I have a calendar link. If you just have some questions, I don't mind. To me, collaboration over competition. Who knows? We could probably co-sponsor somebody together. You might need me to talk to kind of bridge the gap for you right now. EXP just kicked that off. That's amazing. That's great. It costs you nothing to co-sponsor. So if you all ever need any help bridging someone, I'm your girl. Call me. We can make relationships. That way I can call you, vice versa. But that's all I have. And thank you all so much.
Blair, thank you so much.
Yeah, this was really fantastic. You really have such awesome energy, and I learned so much from you. And I think I could say the same for everyone else in the group. So thank you for being here. I dropped Blair's email in the chat. Looks like Caitlin dropped your handle for social media. So definitely connect with her. I also dropped some links for upcoming events, and I will really quickly take a moment to just share what our next 2 events are. So this is our New York event. And we're really excited about this one. We have a special second keynote announcing in the next 24 hours, so stay tuned. And then next up, we've got DJ Tenhove. He's KW New Jersey. He's coming on to talk about unreasonable hospitality and building relationships. So hope you guys will come back and join us for these events. Thank you, Blair.
See everybody soon. Thank you, Blair.
Bye, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.